Okay, I just want to spend a couple minutes explaining this geologic time chart, and I've given you this in your assignment stream, and it's titled Geologic Time Chart. What I want you to be able to make sense of from this chart are the different ways that time can be divided. We start with era, which is the biggest category of time. And we'll talk more about that in just a second. Eras, so that say this is the Cenozoic era, eras can be split into periods. So periods are periods of time within that larger era. Now epochs, or epochs, are further divisions of that era, which has been split into periods, which have now been split into epochs. Now, over here in this column to the right, this represents how many years back in time we're going as we move down the chart. So 10,000 years ago from today, it would have been the end of the Pleistocene epoch, and it would have transitioned into the Holocene. Now, for the purposes of this class, these are the main things I want you to understand. That eras are the largest category of time, which are split into periods, which are then split into epochs. And then, what are the major eras? Okay. The Cenozoic is the age of the mammals. This is the one we're currently living in. Prior to this Cenozoic era was the Mesozoic, where the dinosaurs and other reptiles were dominant. You know, you think of Jurassic Park, right? That was a period within the era known as the Mesozoic era. Prior to that, the Paleozoic, this is when marine life was really taking off, like life in water was really taking off. So we didn't have much in terms of animals living on land at that time, but there was a lot of life developing in water. Prior to that, Precambrian, we have really simple organisms like similar to like bacteria, singular celled organisms, right? Not very advanced. So then, and that's 4.6 billion was the age of the planet. 2.5 billion is really when you're seeing more origin of life, more of these single-celled organisms starting to pop up. Now, a point of clarification, in the age of the reptiles, there wasn't just reptiles at that time. There were some birds and mammals at this time, but it's known as the age of reptiles because reptiles were dominant. And then in the age of mammals, we have reptiles, obviously, but mammals are considered dominant, and we're mammals. Now, these lines here, okay, these are not there because you can go out and find these lines in the dirt somewhere. These lines are here because scientists determined that this era ended and this one started because we have found evidence of massive extinctions going on right here, not so much right here. This is more when they started to see new kinds of life. Big ones are right here and right here, okay? And so when the dinosaurs essentially went extinct, that was the end of the Mesozoic era and the beginning of the Cenozoic era. So if you're asked what marks the end of an era, you can answer correctly that it's marked by massive extinctions. Okay? Let's see, what else is important about this chart? I think really for this class, that's it. We have eras split into periods, split into epochs. We have our major eras, which are the Cenozoic, age of the mammals, one we currently live in. Mesozoic, age of reptiles, although there were mammals and birds at that time. Paleozoic, age of fish and marine life. Precambrian is when life just barely started, single-celled organisms, really basic life. That's the geologic time chart in a very basic introduction.